All right, so let's get into this real fast. So, my idea or my thought process has been lately that there's no way that the Jews that are in Israel don't understand that we're going to say the African Americans are not the original Hebrew Israelites. Okay? They know this, and they've been known this for a very long time. They knew this when they went over to Ethiopia to snatch those guys up. They knew this. They knew it back then. They knew that there was something going on in that bloodline. They had the research, they had the documents, they had the Torah, they had the Talmud, they had all this other stuff. They had old ancient relics that were there. They knew that the 10 tribes were more than likely in Africa. And they know now. If you notice, they're not talking too much about it. It's not something that they're bringing up on their stations on YouTube or on their stations on TV. They're not talking too much about it because they know. It's not one of those moves like out of sight, out of mind. Just don't say nothing. Maybe they'll go away. No, they know we're not going away. Come on. They know we're not going away. They know we're not going away. This isn't going away. They know us. This is what I'll say. I grew up in a very diverse surrounding, we'll say, Not so much when I was younger. I'm originally from Inglewood, California, and I moved to the Valley areas when I was very young, I want to say a little bit above 10 or something like that, And from then on, I spent a lot of time, I was out there, but I wasn't out there. I was inside the system. I don't know if you guys understand what that is, but that's the Los Angeles County system. I spent from 10 years old to 18 in and out the system, and more in than out of that system. And group homes, placements, foster homes, all kind of stuff, you name it, I've seen it. But through that time, I ended up experiencing a multifaceted of people, whether it was Jewish, Hispanic, black, white, whatever. Doesn't matter to me. I mean, there's all kind of people going through those system doors. And I had to see, I saw the worst side, We'll say like in the 80s, what I'm saying, when I was just a little tiny baby, there were something called crackheads. Now, if you guys are familiar with crackheads, most of you guys probably don't know what crackhead is. Kids nowadays don't even know what crack is. Look, crack was a terrible drug. Your parents were probably on it, but it's crack was nasty. And then they had this overwhelming population of crack babies. Now, crack babies grew up in the 80s, all the way in the 90s. They're probably your parents now. Get a little jittery, get angry out of nowhere, kind of off the hinge a little bit. Always got to tell him he's the one in the family. Is like, oh, what's his name is crazy. Yeah, he's crazy. All right. It's a crack baby. But, what I'm saying is I ended up meeting so many different people. So one thing I've always loved about Jewish people is I kind of felt at home with them. I did. Like, they were just mad cool. I never had any problems, Never really had any problems. I loved Jewish people growing up. My ex-girlfriend's Jewish. Shout out to you. You know who you are. But, what I'm saying is it's like I grew up around them. I loved them for a very long time. And you always felt a certain special thing about them because I think there was something there inherently that we knew about each other or they knew about us. Whatever the case is. The blood runs thick between us, and they know that. It's just you can kind of feel that. Now, some of them have grown up around, they've adopted the white identity, the European identity, the full European identity, the Karen, the Ken. Some of them act a little weird, but they know deep down inside they can't do that. But they pull it sometimes. It's all good. So I'm used to the sneakiness too. I've seen it since I was a young kid. not just from Jews, but from people in general. So I'm good with people. And I know this about these people. And I repeat, these people know who we are. I say this loud and I say this boldly because I know who we are. And I'll get into that soon here. I just want to make sure all my facts are in order. But I have some news here very shortly that I'd like to tell the world. And I know it may not mean a lot to people, whatever the case is, but it means a lot to me because it tells a story. And I think for a lot of quote unquote African Americans, it'll tell a story for them too. And also gives us a clear understanding that we're not just lying. We're not just making this up. We're not just saying this. Now, keep in mind that since they do know, I want you to think about something very closely. Why would they want us to be accepted as Jewish heritage brothers? That means we have right back into Israel. And quite frankly, I'm waiting to go back to Israel. I'm waiting to go back to Israel. It says in the Bible, we are sojourning right now. And if you don't know what that means, Google it. We are sojourning in this country. Straight up. I don't care how un-American this sounds. You've never walked in my shoes, son. Most black people don't feel like they are citizens of this country. We damn sure don't get treated like it. You got that group of white men that's going to come over to me and say, look, man, you play football, you play basketball. Yeah, right. What about this? Affirmative action, blah, 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 blah. Brother, let me tell you something, man. All that is just words, man. You living in my shoes for 30 days, you'd have killed yourself a long time ago. I seen some of you guys kill yourself off of losing in the stock market. Going somewhere and take out 12 people because you're pissed off. Let me tell you something, man. You walk around every single day being hated by somebody for no reason, being watched like a dog, being shot down, being hung, being looked at like the scum of this earth. Everybody online talking about you. You going into chat rooms and you're the topic of discussion when you're not even there. People are afraid of you. They talk about you wrong across the world because one group in particular has made you look like a demon for thousands of years. And that is one of the curse that's been placed upon you. And they still won't fess up to it in many senses. They're starting to come down to it now. There's a lot, if you look online, that's a lot, something, you know who I'm talking about, but there's a lot of the other that are, if you look online, they're coming to the terms with, hey, we've been tripping for thousands of years. We've been erasing their history for a minute because we were born demons out here. We've been trying to tear these people apart for thousands, conspiracy after conspiracies. Gut wrenching. We used to throw their babies to alligators. That's how much we don't give a heck about them. Wow, dude. Wow. Look into the depth of it. Look into the depth of it. Look into the depth of it. But let's just say, right? Let me go back to what I was saying. Excuse me. I get off a little rant right there for a minute. Sorry. That's just me taking over, man. I like to, whatever. Excuse me. But, and before I start, I'm not a racist. I'm not a racist. I'm not a racist. I'm not a racist. I love everybody. Trust me. Hell, my daughter's Mexican. Love her. I love the Mexican population. Hey, found out that I'm part Mexican if you didn't know. I'm actually part white. I'm part Puerto Rican. I'm part Mexican. I grew up around Mexicans. I love Mexicans to death. Even though sometimes they can be a little shady. I love them to death. I grew up around them. Damn it, I was from a Mexican gang when I was young. If you didn't know that, now you know. I love them to death. Anyways. So, yeah. So basically, if they know something, let's go back to the Jews real fast. The Jews in Israel, because we are the Jews as well. So we'll go to Jew 1, we're Jew 2. Or maybe we're Jew 1. Who knows? I think G1 sounds better. But it's if Jew 2, okay, Israel, they know who we are. And if they do know who we are, okay, why would they want us coming back? See, that right of return stands for anybody who is Jewish. And they know, man. They know. They know who we are, dude. They know who we are. They know. This isn't made up. They know. Trust me, they've known for a long time. But having us back in that country is rough. There's a lot of Jewish people across the world. Don't get me wrong. There's millions of them. But I can guarantee you, Abraham's seed, the true house of Abraham's seed, is much larger. God said in the Bible that he would make his people like the numbered of the stars, meaning that it's like innumerable. There are millions of us that have a connection to Israel. Millions. I want to say in the hundreds of millions, probably. In the hundreds of millions. We would have passage back to Israel, and that would lead them right back into prophecy, where God says, I'm going to say, I'm just speaking. This is not verbatim. I'm not speaking. This is not in the Bible per se, but it sounds a little something like this. That he would bring us back to our land. Okay. This is what it says in the Bible. God said he's going to bring us back to our land, and the people there would be our footstools. He would make them our footstools. This is biblical prophecy, no lie. He will make them our footstools. That the head would be the tail, and the tail is going to be the head. This is prophetic, people. I'm not making this up. This is going to happen regardless. Just because I may be screaming into an iPhone right now and whatever, you guys are sitting at home like, who's this guy talking to? Some of you are like, who's this nigger? Hello. This is going to happen regardless. This is prophecy. This is what it is. This has to happen. You guys owe us. A lot of you Semitic are like, we don't owe you nothing. Go get a job. Huh? Yeah, you do. You owe me. You owe my ancestors. You're going to look me in my face one day and understand that you owe me. You owe me for the pain that I've been put through. You owe me for the pain that my ancestors have been put through, the blood that is on your hands, the nightmarish days that we've walked on this planet day and night, having no rest, having no contentment, having no peace for thousands of years. You owe me. And if you owe me, you owe God. And one thing I love about our God is he will always come to collect. God bless you.